And welcome to the Portage Curling Club as we get ready for action here. This is the semifinals of the 2018 Canadians Women's Classic. Ken plating Jerry Gertz as we get ready for the matchup between Team Liu and Team Carey. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jerry.
Yeah, it's exciting to be here. Been following this event all weekend here at the Portage Curling Club. Exciting matchup here between Chelsea Carey, who's kind of ducked and weaved her way through the draw. At one point during the weekend, they gave up 17 straight points. Not something you'd expect from a playoff team, but they managed to overcome that, and here they are in the semifinal.
And beside us on sheet number 5, so we'll be jumping in on sheet 5 every once in a while whenever we can. Fujisawa will be playing Team Anderson on sheet 5. So these are the 4 teams that are hoping to qualify for the finals. And we've already thrown first rock. You can see Team Liu with the hammer in this first end. That is a lead, Brianne Knapp, who is filling in for the normal lead, which is Heather Rogers. And they are throwing up the center guard right away.
So Liu with the hammer here due to their qualification through the B qualifier event. Chelsea Carey came out of the C event, so that advantage leads to hammer in the playoffs over the event you are better than.
Shindy Jiang from Team China, or I should say Team Liu, but coming from China. They have made the trip all the way here to Manitoba to play in this.
So Liu is one of the 4 women's program teams traveling around the country, around the world this season underneath the China banner. They had a 12-team play down in August in China to determine those 4 teams. Triple knockout tournament. They're really starting to build some depth there, and with this team, there was the 3 other teams. They essentially won their way into the program, which is pretty neat to see that happen now.
So the Chinese team will opt to throw one right into the rings with their first shot. Knapp now with her second stone, looking to remove that Chinese rock and roll over. So she will hit and stick right in the spot. And like we said, we will try to drop in on sheet number 5 whenever we can between Fujisawa and Anderson. And there will be one more draw after this. The championship final will take place at 6 p.m. Central Time. If you're watching on cbc.ca on their sports page, or you're watching on Daily Motion, or of course YouTube on the World Curling Tour site, plenty of options to watch, but we will begin at 6 p.m. Central Time. Liu with the hit, and they ended up rolling out on their stone, so now opportunity for the Carey team to draw one in behind their center line guard. This is Dana Ferguson with her first second stone of the end.
Line's closed. Okay, don't need to for line yet. Line's good. Just for weight. Lots of line.
This one hanging out there a little bit.
Yeah, you might as well bury it there.
Now, as you can see here, this ice really moves in the later stages. And gets buried, but behind the tee line, so not an ideal shot for the Carey foursome.
Without the hammer here, you really want to be in front of the tee line. The closer to the back of the button you are, the better as well. So, had they been back 4, biting back of the button, that would have been acceptable as well.
Ziki Dong, the second for Team Liu. Their first rock of this end. Looking to come down to the Carey stone. Rock started to make its move now, but maybe a little too much weight on this one. An opportunity here as this one slides right past the one in the back of the 8-foot. Gives Carey the chance to try to correct that one. That was a little too far. And sink one now into the top 8, maybe biting the 4. Ferguson now with her second stone this end.
Interesting to see. You got Val Sweeting over on sheet 5 playing in the other semifinal. Dana Ferguson, teammate of Val for many years. Now playing with Chelsea Carey.
Hard finish. Hard finish. Go. Tuck a piece. Go.
This one just hanging out there a little too far. It's about quarter buried from where we can sit and see. So,
yeah, still in front of the tee line at least. It's a shot that is usable for Carey. The Chinese are going to try and get looks like they're trying to try and play like a backline weight. Try and get to the inside, maybe a little bit of a flip in.
Dong with her second stone this end.
Yeah, their finish is in.
Nice stone as she removes both. And we are on the final stone on sheet number 5.
Just a blank attempt over there. Looks like should be fairly straightforward.
Close. 11.
Sarah Wilkes looking to get to the inside here, follow that last shot down. Line looks pretty good. Just a little on the outside though. Rolls out into the open.
Over on sheet number 5, this is the final stone of that end. And it is a blank that they're attempting. Hit, gets a piece, and they roll out. So yeah, we blanked the first end between Fujisawa and Anderson. So we'll move on to end number 2 for them. As for us, we still have a few stones left to play here.
Hit and roll opportunity here for the Chinese.
Yilun Yang.
So that the throwing order is a little different there. Sijia Liu is throwing the third stones. Oh. I got caught on this in the quarterfinals, so the reason I know that. Sijia Liu calls the game, throws third. Yilun Jiang is throwing 4 stones for the team. It would have been helpful had I mentioned that to you when we were trying to figure out the names.
That is okay. Wilkes now with their second stone this end.
Top 4. Getting better. Still room.
Still thinking top 4.
Dana, it's your rock.
Okay.
So sweepers comfortable with the weight. Waiting for line. Trying to drag this one as far back as they can. They do. A beautifully covered stone, and they are now sitting 2 in the rings. So Sijia Liu with her second stone. Sweepers on it for line. Attempting the double here. One catches a little piece of the other one on the top of the 4 foot and will roll out. So Not a good result for them.
Yeah, some struggles here for China in this first end.
A very difficult double. Now a chance for Carey to either bury a second one in behind that center line guard, or you put up the guard yourself and just go for that.
You know, I don't mind drawing another one underneath here. Try and sit two buried. You're really going to put some pressure on your opponent early here. You know, for the Chinese side, you know, if that double was as difficult as it appeared, they hit a pretty significant piece of that first one. You know, they really should have been considering just playing something around the guard here, dealing with shot stone. Yeah, those were quite even. You know, the key there, you either had to make sure you only play the hit and roll and stay, or just forget about the one on the outside and play a little tap, a little corner freeze, try and chip the one that's behind the guard away, because now they're in real trouble here.
Either of those is good. What we don't want to do is nose freeze it though, because then she can blast them both, right? So it's okay as long as we cross it ahead, whether it's short or tap, just make sure we cross it. Yeah, the side's new, right? Yeah. If it is short, just let us know. Like a guard's totally fine.
Chelsea Carey with her first stone in the first end. Trying to draw one in there. But wants a little room between the shooter and the shot stone. Rock is really moving now. Little tap. Their shooter is completely buried now. However, you can see a little piece of the shot stone, so so they're looking at sinking one in the top of the four. Or a possible run back. So they are going to draw one into the 4-foot, and that is the plan. Liu giving her a little extra ice on this one. These rocks really do move at the end, so. Li Yangjiang with her first stone. Throwing skips rocks here for Team Leon. Liu, I should say. Sweepers on this hard one hard. And she will just squeeze it by the yellow. Oh, a little rub.
Sitting shot, it looks like. That rub, though, left it out in the open. Looks like Carey can come just peel it out and make her have to do that again. Yeah, you look at that staggered two guards out front. That actually hurt Chelsea Carey in an 8 qualifier game against Chrissy Cadoran. That is what Cadoran buried under to steal the win against Carey. This ice is so good. You can bury around rocks, top 8, top 4.
Final skip stone here for Chelsea Carey and her Edmonton, Alberta team.
Chelsea herself, a native of here in Manitoba, moved to Alberta several years ago to connect with the team at that time and has since stuck around out there.
Hanging out there wide. She will get a good piece of it. Will roll off. It's a bite.
Yeah, that was essentially the intended call. They didn't really care if the shooter stuck around.
Didn't want to give her any opportunity to have anything to draw to, so.
Yeah, hit and roll off of. This is not an easy shot here. She did just throw it. But, has to catch a good piece of the forefoot, so she's got to curl a little bit around that top 8 stone there.
Yeah, I didn't want to be quiet. I know that then it's hack and we touch it. It's probably the right ice for. I think so. Even that, yeah. It almost stuck, yeah. So just one part.
Jiang with her final stone, the last stone here of the first end of play. Asks for a little more ice on this one. They change their mind, they go back. So. Yilun Jiang. Throwing skip stones here for Team Liu. Needs to get a half into the forefoot. And this rock is really moving. I think it may have even picked. It cut extremely hard there, so it is a steal of 2.
Oh, boy.
In the first end of play. We have played 1. We've got 7 more to go. You are watching the 2018 Canadians Women's Classic here for the Portage Curling Club.
Eat.
Meet.
Stay.
Canad Inn's destination centers are your home for hospitality, with 10 locations in Manitoba and 1 in North Dakota, featuring the finest in accommodations, food and beverage, entertainment, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more. For the best service and best value, your only stop is Canad Inns. Call today at 1-888-33-CANAD or visit us right now at canadinns.com.
And welcome back to the Portage Curling Club. We're going to be moving over to Sheet 5 in just a few moments here as they get ready for the final skip stones. We still got a couple left. But steal of 2 for Chelsea Carey and her squad as they lead after 1 end of play. So once again, the lead in this one, this is Brianne Knapp, who is filling in. She's the 5th person, the alternate on the team. Filling in for Heather Rogers for this weekend's event.
I believe Heather's actually filling in for Rochelle Brown, who is off. She had a child just recently. I believe Finn was his name. And, I think they're a 5-player team this year with Heather and Rochelle as part of that mix.
They put one right on the button, so...
Rochelle Brown and Dana Ferguson, affectionately known as Pooks and Fergie on tour. One of the great sweeping duos. They also have a lot of fun together.
Shindy Jiang, it's her first lead stone. Looking to put up the corner guard. Everybody getting involved here to try to get this one over the hog line, but no luck there. Knapp with her second stone here. looking to go back to the center line. Rock seems to be hanging out there a little bit. Swoopers haven't had to jump on it, and the weight may be a little heavier than they expected, but starting to curl now. That one top 8. And now we're going to see some rocks moving here. As Liu just looking to kind of tap this one back a little bit different. I thought she would be looking at maybe the run back or...
Those 2 stones are usable for Liu. If they come down, tap it with, let's say, back 8 weight, you kind of chip half a stone onto the other one, and you create a bit of separation in the back 4, and also now you got a little wall in the back. One bad shot and you get a jam, and all of a sudden 2 is potentially in play here for China. This is not enough weight, though.
Instead, the tap just moves that rock further into the forefoot.
Yeah, the problem is they have to get something behind the tee line there. I think for Chelsea, she's looking at potentially taking one of her own with this. She kind of indicated off her own yellow one, you know, throw a big weight here. If you hit one of ours, you know, the Chinese stone's going to leave, lose one of those ones, and then the risk is pretty much gone for the end. And then we'll likely just see a blank end here.
Dana Ferguson with her second stone. And right after this shot, we are going to move over to sheet 5 to show you how that one is going to finish up. Fujisawa here with her last stone. Hits, tries for the roll. Looks like she'll squeak out the other side, so opportunity for Anderson to, I believe, just blank this end. So it'll be 2 blanks in a row.
Yeah, just rolled a little bit too far there. She had a great opportunity to sit buried behind those center guards, but just peeked out the other side too much. And
this rock here does that little tap that she wants, so she now has one a little too far back, but still could be used.
Yeah, that stone in the back 12 is a good rock for the Chinese. It's backing for a potential jam here, so Chelsea has to be careful.
We will move over here to sheet 5 for the final stone of their second end. Final stone for Anderson, and she's looking for the hit and roll out, and she does just that. So no score after 2 ends of play on sheet number 5. Back to our sheet.
That works. Great sweep, guys.
And you can see all the rocks move out of play. So yeah, like you said, it looks like we may see a blanked end here in the second.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake there. That thing over-curled quite a bit. They were going all the way. They really wanted to just stay there, hit it on the nose and stick, but they do the job, get rid of the blue, and 2-point lead, you just want to control the play at this point. Chinese aren't giving up here. They're looks like they're going to play a freeze to the back stone. I certainly don't mind this. A good shot, and there's still an opportunity for 2 here, and it's early enough in the end. You don't want to just give up on it yet.
Sweeper is working hard to move this one all the way back to the back 8 foot. And some good sweep in there to get that rock.
Really nice shot. Slight over curl, but Sweeper's got it there. Looks like it's got like 3/4 corner freeze.
Well, clean. Just clean, just clean. Keep the broom down. Should be okay. Getting everything right now.
Sarah Wilkes.
Let it girl.
removes everything from play. We have an empty house. So Liu looking just to put one into the rings. Her first third stone. And she puts up the corner guard, but just like that, Carey looking to remove it.
Clean. Clean. Yep. Hard.
Sweepers on this one. Trying to roll that one off, and they do. So once again, nothing in play here.
Yeah, even with that amount of weight. Yeah.
Liu now with her second stone of the second end. Once again looking to get something started here. Drawing one in. Sweepers haven't touched this one at all. Try to drag this one up to the tee line, but a little short. Still, once again, Carey having to remove this one to try to blank the end.
I think this will probably do what Sarah said, so it'll probably come up a little bit, but I still think we take care to sweep it. If we know that we know it. I think we just ripped this the first time. She's just going to use it. Better draw again, stick it the next time. I mean, if we stick, we stick. Not the end of the world, but ideally it's a roll out. Yeah, I think we do this will do what yours did, which is like it'll curl a little bit, but I think it'll hold it.
Chelsea Carey now with her first of two skip stones.
Clean, yep. Hard. Really hard. Okay, whoa. Your nose in.
It's a hit and stick for her.
Some concern on that one early, it seemed like. She made the shot.
Mm-hmm. She wasn't concerned if they did nose it, so she is behind above the tee line, so that's going to force Team Liu to hit and stick. Yilan Jiang with her first stone of the end.
Easy. 下去 OK 搞定了10秒
Right on the nose.
Left her over the middle, but nose is fine.
So Carey looking for a little roll, but if not, nose hit will be perfect for this one.
Left to roll. Normal. That's not I'm just afraid it's going to curl. I don't think it'll curl as much, but I think it'll still come up. Okay.
Carey's last stone of this second end. We're looking for a hit and roll.
Clean.
Whoa. Good.
And she'll get the nose hit instead. It'll roll out to the outside.
Yeah. And that was even, I got a 9.9, so even just. Yeah, hers ran straight too, so I thought it probably would, but I didn't want to take a chance.
Me neither. And that's why I was like, throw him down.
I thought it was really similar throw.
So Jiang here looking for the blanked end, hoping to roll out on her final shot here.
Yeah, good job.
Nice stone. And that'll do it for end number 2. 2-0 is your score after 2 ends of play for Team Carey. The 2018 Canad Women's Classic couldn't happen without the help of some of our many proud sponsors. So we played 2. We've got 6 more to go here at the Portage Curling Club as we have semi-final action here of the 2018 Canad Women's Classic. Ken Plating, Jerry Gertz from the World Curling Tour. Jerry, quiet second end for this one, but you kind of called it right away when we saw those rocks all moving early on.
Yeah, I think both teams are playing a little tentative here, not trying to get into too much trouble, not mixing it up too much. Big game here, getting from semifinals to the final, and an opportunity to play for the first place check. Getting a feel for the ice. I know watching Carey's team this weekend, it's been a kind of a mixed bag with them, up and down.
Over on sheet number 5, I believe is the Fujisawa club with the triple takeout there, which has witnessed. It was quite a shot to remove 3 yellow stones. And
Chinami Yoshida with the important triple. Anderson is lying 4 around the edges, and now Fujisawa's sitting shot. Anderson's looking to play the hit to keep the play separated. The deuce is still in play over there, but game-saving shot there by Chinami.
It would have been pretty ugly if that would have jammed, or a little bit of a miss, but instead, what a beauty shot for them. And once again, Anderson now sitting 2, but what an end that could have been. Back on our sheet here, you can see here we've got a 1 in the house already in center corner guard. So we will hopefully see some action here in this third end. This is Knapp again with her second stone of the third end. Going to put another one on the center line. And we will be moving over to sheet 5 in a few stones from now as they get ready for the final stone of their third end. Nice center guard by Team Carey.
Put some pressure on here. Now this is going to be a pretty standard setup play here now in 5 rock rule.
Shindy Jiang, her second stone of this third end. Trying to come down and freeze up to the yellow that's in the forefoot. Sweeper is trying to carry this one as far as they can, and he gets buried by the center guard.
Short's okay. Hey, short's okay. I'll assume it's good speed. Okay.
Dana Ferguson now with her first stone.
Well-placed rock by the Chinese there. They're going to just follow down, try and sit on top of it. Again, as a team without hammer, the goal for Carey is to just congest the middle. Jam everything in there, you know, position your stones in a good spot, get the right angles. You know, the Chinese need to counter that by trying to keep that middle open, you know, chipping off, rolling out into the open. For Carey, that looks pretty good. Maybe a hair too heavy. Had that been about a rock shorter, maybe curled a couple more inches, then it would have been really good. But now opportunity here for Dong to just kind of chip and roll underneath the guard. What I'd really love to see them do here is hit 3/4, try and roll under that corner guard. Would actually chip their rock that's behind cover there out into the open on the other side, and now they'd be sitting first or second and third, and it'll make Carey a little bit nervous. She'll probably have to chase one of the open stones, and then they'll be able to make a play in the middle to keep it open.
Ziki Dong with her opportunity here to remove that yellow right by the guard. Oh, it's a beauty.
It's a double. Yeah, just a mistake on that shot by Team Carey. Leaves the door open for that. Still okay. Carey's got the double in return here.
And we're going to move over right now to sheet number 5.
Easy.
Carey Anderson with a hit for 2 here.
This is the final stone here of their third end. Looking for the hit and the stick for 2, so they take 2. 2-0 after 3 ends of play for Team Anderson.
Still has to curl for that. Yep. Whoa, still. Right over.
Go, Sarah, go, get it out.
Tries to get that one out, but it looks like it'll stick around on the 12-foot, so one blue stone still in play. Liu now looking to put one behind a corner guard and sit 2.
Yeah, time to start utilizing that corner guard that they threw up with their first stone of the end.
Dong with her second shot.
You know, this is the whole idea. Keep that middle open, and then you'll have opportunities to spread the play out here. And a lot easier to score 2 or 3 in a 12-foot circle than a 4-foot circle. Great shot here. Great sweep.
Fantastic chop. Completely buried. So sitting 2 now. And Carey looking just to come down to that stone and freeze up to it.
2 real considerations here. You know, the corner freeze is an option, but it's risky. You know, if you bounce off, they're going to be able to hit and roll another one out. You know, I think at this point, 2-0 lead for Carey. I'd like to see her run that corner guard in. Sarah Wilkes is a great hitter as well, and you know, she could make all 3 blues disappear with a run here, and by playing that run, you're going to force the Chinese to have to throw the guard up again, and if you don't get quite as good of a guard, then you can make a play on that rock underneath the corner there. The other thing is that guard is so tight that you know, you expect her to make contact with at least the top 2.
No, we're there.
Can't bounce. adjust to it.
So the weight was there for the corner freeze, but
looks like it's same thing as they had happen earlier. It just bounced off a hair too much, and again now China's going to be able to play a little down weight shot here, hit and roll underneath again. You need to try and avoid the one in the back, but you know if they get that roll, you know the jam probably doesn't matter. I don't think. It'll be close.
刚刚琪琪打过这个点。
Sijia Liu calls the game, but throws thirds rocks for the team. So her first stone this end.
Yeah, that's okay.
Still sitting two, so an opportunity, but this gives Carey the chance to hit and roll behind some cover if she does this right. Sarah Wilkes with her first stone. Correction, that's her second stone.
Catch just thin. She might get the double here.
One.
Well, excuse me, make. Not quite the call. Little bonus action there.
Plan B works out pretty well. And now Carey sitting one at the back of the house.
我要是先往这儿来一个呢，不行，再往中间来，能比他近还是？近肯定是。这边我先来一个，然后他要是比你好的话，你再往中间来一个，我刚才给动协助一下。行，差不多。我边上选。85，8085吧，14.5。 出手给力量了，出手给力量了，孙姐，孙姐。
Liu hoping to draw behind some cover on the corner guard that they threw up earlier on.
I find it interesting that they're ignoring that stone in the back. Looks good. They're making a good one underneath here. Really well played.
They're buried, sitting one.
Yeah, they're fearless. They're not scared to make a go at this.
Chelsea Carey looking to follow suit and do the exact same thing.
Yeah, no, I'm basing it on yours. I was just curious. Okay, so it feels, feels true to that. Okay.
First skip stone for Chelsea Carey. Hoping to come down on that blue rock that's biting the 8-foot on the side.
Line, guys. Wait if you can. Line's not bad. Wait if you can. Okay, line's pretty good. Has to curl. It has to curl.
Oh, line's good. I'll bump it.
Just a little chip off again. They just keep coming like 3 inches too far. That one's a little bit better, I think. It's going to be hard to remove the yellow stone without at least moving the blue past the yellow shot in the back. So, you know, like Liu has to keep this almost in the 8-foot. If it's pushed into the 12-foot, Carey will still be sitting at least second shot here.
First skip stone for Yilun Yang. Sweepers on this one for weight. The line. And he gets a little rub on the guard, so, and rubs the back guard as well, so not a result she was hoping for. And an opportunity now for Carey to just sink one in on the 4-foot and apply some pressure where she's going to force her opponent to draw in for one. Chelsea Carey with the 4-foot and a center guard for her to aim for. So good opportunity here to sit two.
Line's good.
You got rhythm. No, be closer.
Line's great.
Line's good.
Line's
Line's
great.
good. Just top 4. To my broom.
Top 4.
Line's really
Sweepers
good.
just keeping this one clean.
Just to my broom.
And beautiful weight. Beautiful line, and she is sitting two right now.
Weight's up.
Yeah.
So this is the final stone here of the third end of play. Needing to draw to the button. Yilun Yang.
Facing two carry counters here.
Needs a piece of the button.
This thing does not look like it has legs to get there.
Well, sweepers are pushing it and pushing and pushing it. Can they get it in these for second shot? And they do. They give up a steal of one, so it's 3-0 here after 3 ends of play. When we come back, we're going to move over directly to sheet number 5 to show you the final stone there. You're watching the 2018 Canada Ends Women's Classic live from the Portage Curling Club.
Eat.
Meet.
Stay.
Canad Inn's destination centers are your home for hospitality, with 10 locations in Manitoba and 1 in North Dakota, featuring the finest in accommodations, food and beverage, entertainment, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more. For the best service and best value, your only stop is Canad Inns. Call today at 1-888-33-CANAD or visit us right now at canadinns.com.
And welcome back to the Portage Curling Club. You're looking at sheet number 5 right now, the game between Fujisawa and Anderson. And they have a few stones left in this one. We will keep you up to date with this game as well as what's going on our sheet, the feature sheet number 6 between Liu and Carey. Carey now leading 3-0 after 3 ends of play, and they're just throwing lead stones right now. So, like I said, we will keep you up to date with both sheets as we are going on here today. So, opportunity here for them to draw one in, and they need to here because as we can see here, Anderson with one in the 8-foot. It is behind the tee line, so they can draw up to it, perhaps use it, or they can come in on the far side. That's exactly what they're looking at now. There's an open side for them to shoot at, and that's what they're kind of thinking of. And they're going to have a bit of a discussion on this one. So the new decision now is to come at it from the other side to try to draw one behind the center guard. Final rock. Pardon me, no, there is one more rock to go here for Fujisawa, and she sneaks right by the guard just barely and puts that one biting the button, so a very tough shot now.
Nice call there by Fujisawa. They could have hit the line too. But, they would have left the draw in the back there. For Anderson. So now Fujisawa put that shot stone underneath. Anderson's going to have to chase. Looks like she's going to try and put a draw on top of it. And then Fujisawa will be left with a draw to the button for 2 there. You know, that's an interesting call. A lot of years you'd see teams hit that open stone, try and lie 2 there. But, you know, Anderson with the 2-point lead, lots of room to draw around there. You know, there really was a risk that they'd be aggressive, and then, you know, it'd be even hard for Fujisawa to score a single point here. So good, mature call there from the Japanese skip. Now put some pressure on Anderson as well here. This one here is hanging out, and, you know, there's some places she puts this that might leave a double for 3.
And that may be one of them. She's looking at that right now. This is an opportunity here to jump back in and get the lead in this game here. So looking at options here. The double is very tempting. Of course, that biter in the back 12 would be very important in all this. Chance for 3.
Yeah, a little bit of a risk here to get your 3 points here for sure. This is not an easy shot. It's a pretty flat roll. She's going to have to throw this pretty hard to get both stones out of play. You know, she really could just follow down, throw the draw. She just threw and locked down her 2, tie this game up. But, you know, opportunity here. They're taking a chance to get the advantage in this game. And the way Carey Anderson's team's been playing this year, I think this might be the right decision.
Last rock in their 4th end of play. Trying for the double for 3. One, but not enough to get the second one, but will sit for 2.
Nicely played.
So not a bad result whatsoever. So 2 points for them. They are all tied up after 4 ends of play. Well, there's plenty of rocks already in play on our sheet right now. Let's move over to sheet number 6 again. Just past the guard on the nose, and the yellow of the forefoot will stick around.
Yeah, more pressure there out of the Carey team here on China.
Sarah Wilkes. Puts up a great center line guard, kind of blocks off a few options for the Chinese team.
Yeah, it doesn't really line up great here for the Chinese team. That was a good, well-placed guard by Team Carey, taking away that short run in the middle. You know, I think the call she may want to consider here, come down and hit that blue stone just outside of the top of the house. Angle it onto her other blue one in the top of the 12, top 8 there, and just sort of split them both in. Try and get the 2 blues into better positions. Open up the play a little bit and create some opportunities. The other option, she could play, she could hit that yellow guard that Carey just threw, try and make the double peel on the yellow and the blue. If she hits it right, that blue is going to stick on the yellow on the side. So another way for Liu to kind of open things up while at the same time adding a counter into the rings.
And still a few rocks left, so it gives her the option to still play for her 2.
Yeah, with the hammer here, she really has to deal with that stuff in the middle. She's been getting in trouble all game because of center guards, Carey center guards. That steal in the first end, the steal in the third end were a result of just a mess of rocks in the middle there, and this is something we're seeing with the 5-rock rule quite regularly here. Is the team with hammer gets into a lot of trouble, and they need to be cognizant of this throughout the entire game. Even behind, you got to think about, okay, how are we going to try and make sure we score here?
Liu now with her third stone. She is playing third for rocks, but does call the game. Trying to get just a little piece of this yellow. A little too thin.
And that middle is still all congested. Shot stone is lost under there right now.
It was kind of her one chance to try to get that out, but
yeah, that's the problem. You can't play your only chance this early in the end, unfortunately. You got to keep opening things up and giving yourself a chance to get out of trouble here. Now it's going to be tough. Carey's going to throw up another guard here.
Here, less? Really needs to go.
Gotta go.
Needs to curl a mile too. Getting better. Keep her going.
Wilkes with her
Keep it moving. It's getting there. Go, 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 go. Keep going. Never
final
off.
stone of the end.
Never off. Great.
And another center line guard. And this is even getting more plugged up.
Yeah, now the double peel is not a natural play there on the yellow and the blue. And if you ever were to play yellow on the blue, you may just leave one of those yellows in the middle anyways. So she's looking at playing her blue stones right now. And she's looking at trying to go across the top here, send her blue one straight back. That may be there, but that's a very difficult shot.
Double raise.
Yeah,
Takeout, so it's
yeah, essentially, you know, you're trying to just catch the top on the top of it and then just send it straight back. Again, they're playing in the moment. They're not really, you know, setting up 2, 3, 4 shots down the line here. You know, that's probably been, if there is one criticism of the Chinese program, it's just that, you know, just the strategy, the game calling, everything. These players are so good at execution. They practice and train a ton. So, you know, purely on execution, they're amazing players. But they didn't naturally grow up in the game like a lot of the Canadian kids and even a lot of the Europeans. They're you know, generational curlers and everything as well, and so it's just that natural intuition as to, you know, when to make your move and the shots to call and you know, how you set up an end in general. So, you know, this is something, this is what they're doing on tour. They're learning these lessons, and you know, it's you know, you definitely see some strength here. You know, this is a good team. They're into the semifinals in probably the biggest women's tour event of the season outside the Grand Slams, and you know, it's a great result at this point. But you're definitely seeing some challenges in this game here.
And you've had a chance to see some of the program in China. Is there a lot of curlers? I guess for the people that don't know, maybe explain a little bit about the Chinese program compared to what we see here with Canadian ones.
Well, they've based it off of creating a super team at first, and with a small country, small number of curlers, that was really how they, you know, got things started. Bingyu Wang and Ray Liu, the two teams that were really the focus the last almost 8 years now, and you know, they kind of put a lot of their resources and everything into those teams. What they've done now too, nice shot there by China, chipping, lying second and third, now create some opportunities. You got blue run backs on both sides, and you know, I like that call that they came to there. You know, it looked like she was looking to throw some weight at that to try and make that angle run, but this is what I was looking for on the previous shot. You know, something like this just to open it up and spread that middle out, and lying second and third here, and now this is a threat.
Hard to stick. You're probably just peeling
But
it.
they just opened up a new national training center in Beijing. Beautiful facility there. Jamie Barras has actually been instrumental in helping there and doing the ice. And you know, this year they had some pretty significant training camps there and a competition for selecting the program teams.
Are there a lot of curling clubs in China?
It is definitely growing.
Okay.
And there's some opportunity through the World Curling Tour at the same time too, with things going on there. From a lot of the talk that I've heard, China's really trying to create a lot of recreational opportunities for their middle class. The middle class in China is growing at a rapid pace, and you're seeing a lot more of the society and this kind of cultural opportunity, and there's talk of them wanting to build 500 ice facilities over the next I'm going to say it's probably decade, and curling is a significant component of that at the same time too. So I'm hearing groups out of Sweden being involved. You've got Canadians involved over there, and there's so much opportunity to get involved. And we talk about jobs in curling. They're going to need coaches. They're going to need ice makers. They're going to need people who understand and know curling. There's going to be a lot of opportunity to continue to work in this game.
Great shot by Carey.
Yeah, that's a nice safety shot there. Just make sure you lie second shot. Take the big end out of play here.
Gets a little roll on the inside, not much.
Again, now she's looking at this run here right now.
And this doesn't hurt, because if she misses this, she rolls out. Is there still an opportunity to draw in there?
Yeah, and she does have an angle on the other side too. I think I might want to play the run on the other side at this point. The only issue, though, is you do open up your stone, but you would leave the draw open to score on the other side. So, like, if you ended up running the other blue one back and you missed and you rolled out, you've got a draw to actually score. If you make this run and you miss, you don't really have a shot to score.
Yeah, I thought I slid all the way through you, and then I was still positive. That's why I said forward. I was like, oh boy. I hope this curls.
It seems a little out there. It's close. They're on off.
Gets one. Gets two. Removes the stone.
Yeah, not quite.
No, not exactly what they're looking for. It's an opportunity now for Team Carey just to draw one into the... Yeah, biting the four, as I was just about to say.
Yeah, keep it above the other one. You don't want to leave a double. Gift wrap them a deuce here. A good draw here, and China's going to have a hard time scoring. They're likely going to have to play that other run back, that rock that's just off the center line at about about 2-3 feet there. You can kind of see it just past Carey's shoulder. I guess looking at this, the long view here, you can see that one there sitting out front. I think that's going to be an important stone here left behind for China. The other thing about being in the right spot here is you got to consider that stone for the run double at the same time too.
Last stone of the fourth end here for Chelsea Carey. Liu has the hammer, so she will throw the last rock of the end. Needs to get this one.
Line's good, line's good.
8 foot, maybe biting a piece of the button would be perfect.
Looks real good here. It's gonna fairly tight around the guard.
Back four.
So they're going to set up a double here, so they want to take it as far back as possible so that double is more difficult. Yeah.
So a double for two.
You know what? This is an interesting teaser here. It's the kind of thing where, China could draw for one. The thing is they could play this double for two, but the problem is they're hitting the stone that's second shot, and they have to roll to get shot. So if they were to nose hit this or hit this too thin, then, Carey might steal another point. With a 3-point lead, I don't mind these kinds of shots sometimes because, you force your opponent to go play a little bit of a high-risk shot, and you might just end up stealing another point here. There's definitely the downside to giving up two, but this is not a gimme here either.
Li Young Jiang with the final stone here of the fourth end of play at the 2018 Canadians Women's Classic. Trying for the double for 2. 1, 2, and 3.
You know what? I think
what an amazing shot.
You know what? A little earlier, Carey got a little bit fortunate, and it comes back to China this time.
What an amazing shot. Wow. Didn't expect the triple.
Yeah, well, that wasn't how it was supposed to be drawn up, but sometimes you get a little lucky. We'll chalk up one lucky break on each side here.
Take a look at the Canadians replay. 1, 2, and watch this one spin right over.
We call this the around the house.
Beautiful shot. We are down to the final 2 stones here on sheet number 5 for their fifth end. We're just going to move directly over, then we'll take our break just to see how this end finishes up. As you can see here, mess of stones in play. It looks like I'm going to be guessing that yellow is shot stone from this angle.
Yeah, yellow belongs to Carey Anderson. Fujisawa throwing the blue stones here. Fujisawa's shot. I mean, their turn to shoot, at least.
Yes.
Shot stone belonging to Anderson here.
A big decision here for them. Looking at just tapping back their blue to the button here to sit 2, or maybe even chip out that yellow.
Yeah, you got to try and find a way here to force a single, I think. It's pretty risky. You could do a lot of things that get you in trouble. I don't mind the draw here. Try and draw around your top rock, biting the top 4. Try and get to the tee line and make it tough for Anderson to get a second point in here. You may even be able to slide your stone in and cover the pin just about there, too, and sit shot. The other option, try and get to the nose of that rock, biting top 4, and just tap it straight back a little bit. If you were ever to get it on the outside and chip it in, that's not such a bad shot either. Just get it to the top of the button and try and cut off Anderson's chance to score 2.
Final stone for Fujisawa.
She's throwing some weight at this. Yeah, the in-off double here.
1. Beautiful shot to sit first and second shot stone.
That is a pistol. I do not believe Anderson has a shot for 2 here.
Our only option, I think, right now is to chip up her yellow that's biting the 4-foot there and perhaps lie one. Yeah.
Take your 1, yeah.
Not much to look at.
Satsuki, she's a shot maker. We keep getting this message from the Fujisawa fans in the YouTube chat. Fujisawa fighting is the theme for the fans, and that was a great shot.
So Anderson and Sweeting talking about this one, deciding what to do. So yeah, it looks like they're going to be promoting their yellow stone into the button. Now that amount of line, it looks like she's going to be throwing some pretty big weight.
Yeah, she's likely going to just keep her weight up here a little bit, make sure she controls the line. With so much curl here, the less weight you throw, the more you have to control the line with sweeping and everything. It just takes a variable out.
Carey Anderson with her final stone here of their 5th end. Looking to promote her stone. For shot. Sweeper's on it pretty heavy. So by the guard it is.
stone.
Nice stone, sits her one. They take one, and they have a 3-2 lead after 5 ends of play. Hey, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, more fifth end action from sheet number 6 here at the 2018 Canad Women's Classic.
So, Ken, I'm going to
The 2018 Canad Women's Classic live from the Portage Curling Club. Ken plating Jerry Gertz. Kicked Jerry out for just a little bit just to have somebody in as a special guest with us. We have Julia Weigel from Team Cadoran. They're from Toronto, Ontario. Talk a little bit about this year's matchup for you guys. I know you didn't end up where you guys wanted to be here on the championship day, but talk a little bit about how the play has gone here so far and what you thought of the entire event.
Yeah, thanks. Well, we were pretty happy to make it to the quarterfinals. We kind of organized our schedule this year to be a little bit on the aggressive side. This was our 5th tournament that we played in, our first one that we've qualified in. We have a new player in Laura Labonte this year, so we just wanted to work out some kinks. So we also haven't really traveled before to come to an away event. We play mostly in Ontario. So for us, the experience of flying and, organizing all of that kind of stuff was new. So, yeah, we felt like we managed it pretty well, and we've had just a great time here. The Canad is a great sponsor, and the experience, too, of being streamed on CBC has been fantastic. So all around, we've really enjoyed our time here. We had a great time.
Of course, a great event, and one of the great things a lot of players have commented on is the ice that they got to play on here this week. Amazing ice to play on in a curling club, isn't it?
Oh, of course. It felt like an arena out there. Like we're used to fairly fast swingy ice, and this was no exception. Everything was great. Really easy to read. The rocks have been great. The ice crew's been amazing. All of the hosts, all the volunteers, everybody who puts this on, it's just been a great event for us.
Comparing to other events that you guys have been to, how does this one compare? Obviously, Grand Slam's much larger, but this being not a Grand Slam event, how does this one compare to the other Slam events?
Well, we haven't quite been to a Slam yet. We were hoping to kind of do a little bit better in our first 4 tournaments to try and get into the Tier 2, but unfortunately that just didn't happen for us. So, I mean, we mostly play on the Ontario Tour. We play a couple of World Tour events as well. So we're mostly in clubs. Our provincials this year are in Elmira. They're in an arena atmosphere, so this was a good experience for us too.
To experience that type of ice and experience that.
Exactly, yeah, and to play these caliber of teams too. I mean, everyone here is great, and we had some really good games. Both of these teams playing now in the semifinal. We played on our route to the quarters, and just some really great competition this week.
Last night, Jerry and I had a chance to call one of the games, and he was saying that teams from Ontario generally play a different style of game than what you see out west in the Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC regions. Do you notice a different type of play when you come out here?
I think for us this year with the 5-rock rule, it's a little bit different. So we're still kind of getting our feet wet with that. We haven't played it too much until this season. So for us, everything seems to be a little bit different right now. So we're still figuring out kind of what strategies work and what strategies don't. So yeah, I mean, we've definitely noticed differences this year overall, but I think that has a lot to do with the 5-rock rule coming into effect.
What's the next on the plate for Team Cadoran?
We actually leave from here. We go back to Toronto, and then we're in the Whitby. It's the Gord Carroll Classic starting on Friday, I believe.
And your schedule is pretty full this year?
Pretty full. So right after Whitby, we go over to Kemptville, North Grenville Curling Club for the Women's Classic over there. And then we have one more tour event in Listowel, and then we start our Ontario playdown process after that.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast. Congratulations on how far you guys made it. Best of luck in the rest of your curling season, and and hopefully we get to see you here again next year.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for having us. And, we had a great time. Thank you so much to all of the sponsors that put this on, and a special shout out to our sponsors as well. Without their support, we would never have been able to even get on a flight to come out here. So, we're really grateful, and we're happy for the experience. And good luck to everybody in the semifinals and the finals moving forward.
Thank you so much. The second for Team Cador and Julia Weigel joining us here in the Tavern United broadcast booth as we are calling the action between Team Liu and Team Carey on sheet number 6. And you can see there are a few rocks in play. And this one is going to be an end. I think we're going to see a little bit of action once again as we got a couple rocks on the center line.
Back at it again. A little quick coffee break there. Thanks to Julia for joining us. You can hear the applause in the background. Nice run back there for Anderson's team.
Bit of a shooting clinic on both these sheets we've seen so far.
Yeah, this is definitely a pro Anderson crowd up here in the Tavern United pub overlooking the Portage Curling Club.
Of course, Team Anderson from Gimli, Manitoba, so not too far away from here. Though Val Sweeting does hail from Alberta, so she has to make the trip all the way out to Manitoba.
Yeah, so she's the one import on the team. Under current residency rules in Canada, teams are allowed to have one player from outside the province. It's definitely a very a big talking point these days with how teams are set up and how they want to all get together. And, you look at, one of the teams out there I think there's a lot of questions about is Rachel Homan's team. Her and Joanne Courtney live in Alberta, and then there's 2 players that live in Ontario. And, when you look at that team, what they're actually doing is there is an exemption allowed that if you're attending university full-time, that you can play out of your home province. So Rachel grew up and has lived in Ottawa for a long time. So that allows her to claim Ontario as a residency. So there's nothing wrong with what Homan's doing. They're following the rules there. But a lot of people are questioning that whether that actually makes sense or not. Because Rachel is obviously living in Alberta. She's married there and is sort of making a life out there. So definitely, some questions around the policy.
Kind of a gray area in terms of how the rules work.
Yeah, you can't question what Homan's doing because they are 100% following the rules there.
And it's quite interesting because you think back to 25 years ago when a team was formed, they almost all stuck together for years and years and years. And now with the Olympics and the way the Olympics are playing out, mixed doubles now thrown into the mix, how quickly things have changed in the world of curling. And this, of course, we're coming off of an Olympic year. Gives everybody the opportunity to decide, hey, is it time to shake things up? We didn't quite have the 4 years that we wanted beforehand, so going to see a little bit of a mix-up. Yeah,
there's 2 parts to this, right? I'll play devil's advocate a little bit. Canada is the only country that forces players to have to play regionally, to have to stick together regionally. So it is a bit of it takes away from opportunity for players, for the best players to get together, for teams to experiment and find the right mix. Canada does have the most best players in the game, so you can find some great teams within your province, but the challenge becomes, let's say if this group doesn't work and you want to bring a couple players in from elsewhere, try and get that chemistry to work, and so there's less opportunity to experiment with different options. And, on the other side of that, when you look at what the provincial associations are looking for, they're trying to market the names regionally at the same time too. So, they want their teams to be from their province, and when they play in the provincials, this is something that they market to their fans and to their community at the same time too. It's something, you look at some of the smaller provinces, and it's hard for players in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, PEI, to find 3 players that are committed enough that want to go out and do this, because it's a lifestyle commitment to compete at this level.
The Tour of the Circuit, of course, and they're on the one end of the country. You're constantly flying to the other end of the country to play in the big spiels that are in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario, Manitoba. So there is a lot of commitment there. Well, we've talked our way through most of this 5th end, so maybe we should call a little bit of the game now. As you can see here, we do still have some centerline guards.
Yeah, we got some great pictures here. At least the fans are following along, and the work that you guys are putting together. We got a camera at center ice the last couple of days now, and this has been pretty cool.
Well, this has been a collaboration of two companies, Big Day Media Sports Productions and B&K Studios, and we've come together to bring you all the exciting action here from Canadians. And it's been a great week for us to be able to do something like this and show the curling fans across the nation what we have here in Manitoba and what we can do. Suber's on this. It looks like she's going to get just by the guard, and it's another pistol of a shot.
Did she rub that center guard?
It looks like it was just so close. As we look back at the replay, the Canadians replay, as we go, just by it. Holy.
I wonder if she papered it and, just kept going by. You kind of catch the backside. But, yeah, clean on by. Great shot there. Sijia Liu with the run double, and now 2 Chinese stones in there. Carey is in trouble. Her first opportunity with hammer here.
So looking to come around that center guard. Trying to bury one. Gets a little rub off of that blue. And that pops that one right out. You can see it wide open from here. So now the opportunity is for Liu to just hit and roll behind her cover and sit 3.
Yeah, this is the spot here where she might be able to get the hit and roll underneath, but I was not a big fan of the draw around these 2 blue ones because they're kind of lined up on the other side.
For a double.
Yeah, so for Liu to hit it and run and leave it buried. So, this might be better. If Liu nose hits or rolls a hair to the outside, Carey may be able to then play the hit and roll in return and get over buried underneath so that short run doesn't make contact with her stone. You always got to watch out where these angles line up, and those 2 blue stones are lining up really nice right now for Team China.
Yi Yaldan Yang with her first of 2 skip stones. This rock starting to move. And right now, gets a little roll.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. So accurate with their takeouts.
Yeah, they make a ton of shots.
Now Carey in hot water here facing 3 stones.
Yeah, they make a good shot here. Chelsea was indicating hit what she can see of that blue stone, just roll out into the open. I still think that leaves the 4-foot open. China's going to have to play a hit on the stone that they throw, and I think Chelsea's going to have the 4-foot to play too with her last one. As long as she makes this shot, really with a 1-point lead here, she wants to limit the damage to a steal of 1, and that's what she needs to think about here. Make sure you keep control of that game. Keep the advantage here.
Just keeping an eye over on sheet number 5. They are down to their final 2 stones in their 6th end. They are a whole end ahead of us. We will keep you up to date with what's going on there. It is still a 3-2 score for Anderson over Fujisawa. Chelsea Carey with her first stone of this 5th end. Right after this rock, we will be moving over to sheet number 5 to show you the final stone by the Anderson foursome.
Oh, this is looking real good if they get by the top.
They did. What a great shot.
Over.
Nice little roll. They removed 1 stone from play, so that's important.
Yeah, great shot there by Chelsea Carey. It does leave the hit and roll back for China, but she's going to have an opportunity to at least draw to the 4-foot to, at worst, give up a steal of 1. Scoring here is still definitely in play.
So this is sheet number 5 that you're looking at between Anderson and Fujisawa. They were looking at the double, but they're just going to opt for a draw, facing 2 stones. I don't think it's for the hit. We didn't see the call, so I'm assuming that based on the line, they are going for a draw.
So just the verbal on our feature sheet. China looking for that hit and roll, that Carey stone that just rolled. She gets half the stone, rolls through the 4-foot, just biting the back corner of the 4 there. Looks like half in the 4. So Carey's got to draw to the full 4-foot to score.
And we'll move directly back over to that sheet in just a few seconds. This is the final rock here for Fujisawa. Needs the 4-foot sweeper is there. Going to try to pull this one all the way back. It is a steal of 1 for Anderson. They take a 4-2 lead. Now let's move back over to sheet number 6 for the final stone there of their 5th end.
So Carey needs essentially full 4-foot to score here.
She did a good job keeping that 4-foot open for herself, that entire side.
Yeah, yeah, I think they managed that as well as they could in that situation. A really nice hit and roll by Chelsea on her first, just to kind of control the space there, and then China played, the shot pretty much as best they could.
Last rock here of the 5th end to play. Chelsea Carey needing the 4-foot here to get out of some very deep trouble with 3 blue counters in the rings. Sweepers nicely in control of this rock. And they put it almost on the button. That is 1 for our Team Carey. They take a 4-2 lead after 5 ends of play, and we're going to take a short break. Without the sponsors, we couldn't make the 2018 Canadians Women's Classic happen.
Eat.
Meet.
Stay.
Canad Inn's destination centers are your home for hospitality, with 10 locations in Manitoba and 1 in North Dakota, featuring the finest in accommodations, food and beverage, entertainment, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more. For the best service and best value, your only stop is Canad Inns. Call today at 1-888-33-CANAD or visit us right now at canadinns.com.
And welcome back to the Portage Curling Club, home of the 2018 Canadians Women's and Men's Classic. Men's played last weekend. This weekend, it is the Women's Classic, and we are down to the final 4 teams, and they are battling it out right now. I can tell you on sheet number 5, it's Anderson with a 4-2 lead. In our sheet, it is a 4-2 lead as well for Team Carey. So we are on the 6th end of play. They are now on the 7th end of play, so our featured game still has 3 more to go. Ken Plating, Jerry Gertz calling all the action here from the Tavern United broadcast booth. Thank you for joining us here on this wonderful afternoon. If you are looking for more curling, well, there will be one final game. It'll be at 6 p.m. Central here, same time, same place. You can watch us either on CBC on their website. Go to the CBC Sports section and find the Canadians Women's Classic. Click on the link and you can watch. You can watch us on Daily Motion. Or, of course, our last and final one, you can watch us on YouTube. Just look for the World Curling Tour and click on the link for the live game that will take place at 6 p.m. Central.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe to, if you're going on YouTube, subscribe to the World Curling Tour channel. We've got lots of great coverage from events all around the world, and it'll help remind you when our games are on, too, at the same time.
And other social media?
Yeah, we got at World Curl Tour on Twitter. Search for World Curling Tour on Facebook as well. Lots of great content coming out of both those channels, too.
So we are playing the 6th end of play here on sheet number 6, and we will, of course, keep you up to date with what's going on sheet number 5.
Looking good here for Team Canada, holding off the Asian invasion. Carey and Anderson lining up for all-Canadian final here. We still got a few ends to go yet. We'll see what happens. 5-rock rule is definitely a threat, and team with the lead, 2-point lead here, is not safe yet. So you got to keep playing well, and you got to keep playing aggressive with that small lead.
Aside from the first end when there was a steal of 2 for Carey, they've really kept up with Team Liu in terms of shots. Just had one really bad end where things weren't going well for them. But since then, we've seen some amazing shot making from both teams, and that's why we've had. If you looked at it, it could be a 2-2 game right now if they would have blanked that first end.
Yeah, it's for Carey's team, it's been a really up and down week. They went through a stretch where they gave up 17 straight points. When you start talking about that, usually a team that does that doesn't make the playoffs, and they're way gone. But they lost to Cadoran in the A qualifier, gave up 4 straight points, a deuce, and then a steal to lose. The next game they lost 8-0, and then they were playing against Penny Barker's team, and they got behind 5-0 to start. And Chelsea was lying she was actually looking at scoring a 4 or 5, and Penny Barker made this absolutely brilliant shot and left herself forcing a single to Carey for her to finally break that streak. But like Carey just felt snake bitten. She'd been catching bad breaks, giving up tough ends, and to do that it's a tough spot. So you see they've really recovered here, and they're playing pretty well.
So this rock here just seemed to overcurl a little bit, and will chip the yellow one almost into play. So keeping her guard up front gives her an option to throw up another guard right now. Looking for the high center guard. Dana Ferguson.
2.5 too deep, guys. Has to curl a lot.
First rock of the end.
Really needs some work. Get all the way across the line.
Carey a little concerned with the line. It's just not moving on her this time.
It
will finish, but
keep going.
of course they don't want to get too close. A potential run back double.
正常，10秒就行，10秒，能奔这个就奔这个，不行直接打闪一个也可以啊。
10秒5就行，你要是掉下来就打甩，留到那儿。
Ziki Dong throwing second rocks for Team Liu. Sweepers on this one for line. They're going to end up taking the top guard. Could even run back into the blue. Nope, just misses. And they peel that away. So Carey looking again for another center line guard. Carey gets her center line guard, so Chinese team looking to rattle a few stones around here up front.
Yeah, for this Chinese team, it's been a bit of a struggle on the season. 12-14 record coming into this game. 6 of those wins actually here this weekend. So 6-1 record to get to this point. They definitely seem to have found their stride here.
5 yellow rocks in play on sheet number 5 for Team Anderson.
Good news is Fujisawa has the hammer there.
Knows this. That'll go there. You can afford a hair on the center line 5. No, we don't.
Beautiful rock that just comes by the guard for Fujisawa and removes one of the yellows.
This is Dana's ice. Do you want a little
For
more?
Chelsea Carey, they are 14-10 coming into this game.
This is Dana's. Do you want more?
Their 4th event of the season. Missed the playoffs at the Autumn Gold in Calgary. Looks like they lost a C qualifier there to Jennifer Jones. That's a tough Seaside playoff game. 1-3 at the Princess Auto Elite 10, and they did make a quarterfinals appearance in their first event at the HDF shootout in Edmonton.
Split center. Okay, it needs to split center though. That's more important. Split
Sarah
center,
Wilkes.
Dana. Hard, right back, right back, right back, right back, right back, right back, right back. Okay, that's good.
With another center line guard. Making it very hard for the Chinese team to get a rock in play here, forcing them to keep peeling off guards.
Yeah, that one Carey stone buried under there, that thing is going to be tough to remove.
So Liu now looking to come down.
14.5，现在还是85。
Corner freeze, perhaps.
粘一个啊。
A rock well buried in the 4-foot, so. Xijia Liu throwing third stones.
力量够就别带了，路线问题，起球别擦了我。
下线，哇，下线，真的下线，这么大劲，哇！
Looks like she was calling the
Draw to the button.
Yeah, I think they were calling for a sweep for the line there, but good communication there between the Chinese sweepers and the player in the house. It was a little too heavy, so they needed to just let that weight trend come off and hope it would curl over. Yeah, we had the player mics earlier. It looks like they've gone down a little bit. I don't think we can hear Chelsea right now. Normally we'd have them in our ear. I think you know, the big thing here is they got to be careful where they put this rock, because
I just think that's really risky.
oh, there she is. She could just throw this one away almost. You know, you want to make it better, but you know, if she threw a guard on the path, you know, try and throw that guard to block the draw here, China may just use that to run it in and make the double.
She could throw a high angled, a high guard.
Yeah, that's the same problem. Yeah, that's the same problem. They could just use that to run it in. Like right now, the only thing they got is that blue angle on the other side. You know, you could look at here, just throw a heavy draw.
At least it's more varied and more second.
Yeah, you want to make sure your pass shot stone here, you know, your miss is too deep. You know, you definitely don't want to leave this open in front of your shot stone here. So, you know, the shot call, you know, side of the button would be great. If you're 2, 3, 4 feet, a little deeper than that, you know, come to the back blue one, that's perfectly fine.
Sarah Wilkes with her final stone of this sixth end to play.
Lots of room.
Need this rock to do a little movement right now.
Just to it.
Yeah, this looks pretty good. The weight looks right.
Yep.
they should be able to loop this around there.
Just want to let it curl on its own.
Yeah, nice shot. What that does is it takes the big end out of play. And at this point, a 2-point lead, you just want to take that 3 out of the mix here.
We will keep an eye on sheet number 5. They are going down to Skips Rocks right now. As soon as they get to the final 2 skip stones, we will cut over back and forth, keep you up to date with what's going on.
Doesn't matter, it's a force, yeah, exactly.
Carey Anderson just wrecked on a guard in front. So Fujisawa down with opportunity to get another rock into play. And here we have a guard removed.
Still a good angle out front here for Carey. That staggered blue-yellow at the top of the 12-foot there. You know, that sort of protects the yellow shot stone top 4. So again, same problem here for Carey. She wants to just make sure she doesn't set something up for the Chinese.
Yeah, I can't take away both. We said we wanted to force it.
You know, back to the original game plan. What do you want to do? What do you want to leave her? You know, you give her the draw for 1 here. She can't score 2, period. So at least, you know, you get the force, you'll be up 1 with hammer, and you're good. You try and force the issue here, you might leave a double or set something up where they can make a big shot, and then all of a sudden you're, you know, you get a little too greedy and
everything changes very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's the most important thing when you're looking at the scoreboard. If you've got an advantage, keep that advantage. Don't give it away. And that, you know, that turning point is really the lead. You know, tied with the hammer is an advantage in curling. Up 1 without the hammer, up 1 with the hammer is a significant advantage in curling. When you look at the overall numbers, you're no worse than 75% to win at any time in the game when you are up 1 with hammer. So for Carey, getting the force here puts her in a dominant position to take this game and advance to the final.
Chelsea Carey with her first rock this 6th end to play.
Line's good. Over curling. Just leave it, just leave it, just leave it, just leave it. It's way over curling.
This rock did not turn out the way they were hoping. It just ends up plugging up more of the center line.
Yeah, they were hoping to be over quite a bit more to make this draw more difficult. But, you know, I think Carey not even throwing here, it's not the end of the world.
Yi-Lun Yang throws the skip stones here.
这球确定一点啊，你的姐，
你要看这个球有吗？应该有，没有？
我觉着有吧，但是这个角度吧，
这中间有空。
Anderson with last rock in her game.
Her last rock.
Last rock, sorry, in her matchup.
Yeah, the Japanese team made a bit of a mistake there. They were drawing to lie 2, it looks like, and slid deep, and now Anderson threw the hit and lies, looks like 3. And Satsuki Fujisawa now hitting against 3 for her single point. It's a pretty open stone here. We've got cameras on Satsuki now.
Looking to hit and stick and cut the lead down to 1.
Fujisawa curls out of the Katami Curling Club, which is in Tokoro, Japan, on the island of Hokkaido in the north. So we got Sapporo there as a major club, and you've got Tokoro as another kind of cornerstone club in that area. And you know, they just went through a pretty significant earthquake in that area. So you know, best wishes to the family and everybody there that in recovery and everything. I think that happened about a month ago or so.
Well, they take 1 on sheet 5, so it's a 4-3 game there. Here we are heating up as Team Carey now is going to throw her final stone. Keep in mind, Liu will have the hammer in this end, so Carey is going to try to make her force her 1 here this end and have 2 ends to go with the hammer.
And now great opportunity here to follow down. And, you know, I really like this. They're calling the draw here. They want to just sit side of the button. You know, here's a spot. If you're a little bit heavy on the draw, that's perfectly fine. You can tap that blue stone back. A little bit heavy will keep the line straighter, too. So, you know, that's about the line where you would be to make that tap. So, you know, as long as you're throwing somewhere between T-line and back 4, maybe a hair into the back 8 weight, then, you know, this is a very good shot. You just heard Chelsea say, don't be light. Never be light here, so... Yeah.
Taking a little more ice on this one.
Yeah. You know, it's something you don't really see here, but one of the jobs of the sweepers is to get a feel for the ice, read the paths, understand what the speed is down each path and how much curl they're going to get. And, you know, it really is their job to kind of know every inch of the sheet. And lots of communication. You know, this is something that the young teams can pick up from when these teams have a lot of communication and a lot of talking here. And, you know, Chelsea relies on her sweepers here to help her make these shots both mentally and then with the brushes here, too.
Final stone for Team Carey here in this 6th end of play.
Can't hurt it for line. Can't hurt it. Right up.
Sweepers hard for weight, hard for line.
This is looking really good.
A beautiful corner freeze. Lying 2 now. And only 1 option remains.
Yeah, I couldn't throw it much better than that.
No. So Team Liu now looking to draw to the button.
Looks like they do have a little bit of room there to get to the nose. If they get to the nose of that yellow stone, they will count. Problem is that to get there, they're going to have to dance with that rock on the top of the 4 foot. So a really finite shot here.
Final stone here in our 6th end of our feature game. Team Liu looking to draw and get a piece of the button. Sweepers on it for line. This rock will curl.
That just looks light. That's already gone.
Steal of 2 for Team Carey and a commanding 6-2 lead with just 2 ends to go. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, end number 7 action here at the 2018 Canad Women's Classic. And welcome back to beautiful Portage La Prairie, Manitoba, home of the 2018 Canadians Men's and Women's Classics. We are finishing up here with the Women's Classic. Second last draw for this one as we play the semifinals. Team Carey against Team Liu. And we are starting off with end number 7 here. Team Carey looking for a rock on the center line. Commanding 4-point lead. 6-2 is the score right now.
Yeah, Brienne Knapp throwing lead stones here for Team Carey. Brienne plays with Kristen Streifel normally on the tour and filling in this weekend for Team Carey. Yeah, Team Streifel was in Toronto a couple weekends ago at the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard, and you know, that's another really good young team that's coming up the pipeline. Kristen played with the University of Alberta Pandas program for several years there, Saskatchewan native, and you know, they kept harassing me about, are we in the Tier 2? You know, they were right on the fringe there, but they managed to grab one of the last spots, so they will be in Thunder Bay for the Tier 2 Grand Slam, so you'll see Brienne there as well, and you know, they're pretty excited about that opportunity as well.
We will be keeping an eye on sheet number 5, and we will show you what is going on there. Team Anderson with a 1-point lead. They do have the hammer coming home, and they are in their 8th end right now. We are on our 7th end, and we are throwing the lead stone still. We just finished that.
Room right now. You're good for line. Looks like lots.
Knapp this with a little bit of weight on this one.
Yeah, you don't want to be throwing these behind the tee line here in the 5 rock free guard zone space. You know, back of the button there, that is too deep. The Chinese can throw up a second corner guard now. You know, I was talking with Glenn Howard last night about, you know, when do you throw 2 corner guards on the same side? And when do you throw 2 corner guards separated? And I think the discussion ended up leading to a layout like this, when the middle is not great, you want to throw split corners. But when your opponent has got the middle set up well, so, you know, whether they got the 2 stones, top 4, top 8 in line, or they've got 1 buried top 4 and a tight center guard, that's the time you want to throw the corner guards both on the same side, because you want to still have lots of room to work with and keep things clean on the other side, because you're going to be chasing at some point when your opponent makes some great opening shots. So, you know, here, split the corners. Now you got something to roll under both ways, and you know, game on here.
Well, we have a couple of rocks behind the tee line. This rock is not moving. It's a little kiss from the guard. Finds itself in the 8-foot. So now an opportunity from Team Liu to draw down to the 1 on the 4-foot. That's back of the button.
Yeah, again, not great setup here for Carey. This is definitely a danger time here for the Alberta team. The Chinese can come down, make a good play, freeze in there. Oh, look at this. I like this.
Interesting shot. Dong.
Yeah, I think they were trying to freeze to that stone there, but by rolling under, they're essentially using that top 8 carry stone as a guard here. Now, you know, she's got to play a little run back, and, you know, this thing could, you know, there could be a miss here, but at the same time, this run back, if they do make it, the rock could bounce in behind the corner guard, and, you know, another rock behind the tee line for the Chinese team to utilize here.
Dana Ferguson with the run back.
Nice.
And a few stones
Yeah, good shot.
Move around.
Just got to keep removing the Chinese stones here.
Don't forget, we have more curling after this. The championship game will take place at 6 p.m. Central Time. Catch us on, of course, cbc.ca. Just go to the sports section and look for the Canadians Women's Classic. Click on the link, and you'll be able to watch on Daily Motion. We're also on there. And, of course, always can catch us on YouTube by looking up the World Curling Tour.
Of course, we'll have notification on where to follow it on at canadins.com. I know they've been doing a great job here, the web team, keeping everything updated and links to all the scores in the games. And, of course, a great sponsor. They are really such a amazing supporter to curling as well.
Gonna drag this rock into the rings. Set themselves up for a possible 2 this end. Is 3/4 covered behind the guard, so Carey looking just to remove this stone. Sarah Wilkes.
Here's a bit of a teaser shot. They've left that rock, half open. You got to hit something here if you're carrying. You got to hit it hard. You either got to hit that guard hard and make sure it goes out of play, or right here.
She hits a good chunk of it, and her shooter sits on the tee line. So options now for the Chinese team. There's a lot of yellow in play.
Yeah, that's fine. Every stone in play right now helps China. I don't care where it is, it's not helping Carey. They've got a 4-point lead, and when you're behind, you want as many rocks in play as possible to create some sort of variance and create opportunity to try and score a multiple point end.
We're down to skip stones on sheet number 5. This is the 8th end, and Anderson has a 1-point lead with the hammer. We are going to move over to them in just a few moments. First, we'll finish off with this stone from Liu. Sweepers on this one. Rock looks like it's over curling.
Yeah, they really needed this to be somewhere in front of those yellows. Again, a bit of execution out of the Chinese team here. They've been struggling with putting rocks in the right places.
And we are now going to move over to sheet number 5 with what I believe is the first skip stone.
Yeah, this is Satsuki Fujisawa's first rock. There's 2 to come yet. No, sorry. Anderson's got hammer here, so they've got 2 more to go yet.
So 3 more rocks to play in this 8th end on sheet number 5.
Sometimes counting is difficult, especially at this point in the weekend.
Whoa. Right off.
Bit of a dangerous situation here for Anderson. They are going to run that blue back onto the other blue.
You have to play some pretty big weight here. That will remove almost all the stones from the house.
Yeah, the concern is if you hit it a hair too thick onto the blue one there, it's going to stick right on the top of the 4-foot. So you want to make sure you throw big weight, you get close to the nose, and catch it as thin as possible so that you splash everything out of play. you know, they may, you know, if they make this right, they'll clean house here.
Carey Anderson with her first skip stone in this 8th end of play. Leading by 1. Needs to move some granite around. Sweeper on it hard. 1, 2. And the shooter sticks for rock, so she is sitting 1. A beautiful shot for her.
Yeah, great rock out of Carey Anderson. Really nice weight. She's a player. She's a shot maker. Has been for many years, and you know, I think one of the things that's going to happen with this team is you know, she's going to learn a little bit more of game planning. I think you know, Val Sweeting and the other players on this team are going to bring a lot to that as well, with all the skipping experience that they have.
So now looking at options.
Yeah, they got to find somewhere to hide. That long corner guard is one option. I actually like drawing around the rock in the house here. Try and sit, you know, just kind of bite half the forefoot in the back, go as deep as possible. Now, that corner guard is almost not in play. It's so high here, but the ice curls so well. You got Greg Owasco, who's come in to help the local ice maker, Farrell Asham, who takes care of the ice year-round here in the Portage Curling Club, and you know, they team up and do a great job with the ice for the weekend here.
Back on sheet 6, Chelsea Carey throwing her her first rock here in this 7th end, and a pile of granite on the other end for her. So we'll keep you up to date with what's going on there.
Throw it in the pocket, hit it hard. It looks like. Well, picked out one of the Chinese stones.
I believe she still is sitting a shot rock.
Yeah, Chelsea may even be sitting 2 right now.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from this angle here, but we'll keep you up to date. Yeah, you can see she is sitting with 2. We will move back over here to sheet 5 with what could be the last rock of this game.
Yeah, so they settled on drawing around the rock in the top of the 8-foot. I like this call a lot. You know, you get it just behind the tee line, as buried as you can. Probably try and show your opponent half to a third of this. So you put 2 shots in the head of Carey Anderson. See, you know, potentially even 3. You know, if you leave her, you know, the run back is an option. The follow it, chase it, try and tap it back is an option.
Sweeting's trying to drag this one all the way back. Oh, it's
close.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's just too deep. It's about 3 feet too deep there.
So they are looking this one over because it is close. Trying to make the decision that yellow just needs to be promoted. Draw to the button. I mean, I guess you could look at it this way. You could just draw to the button if you end up sliding through. You still measure to see who is shot rock on the other two.
You don't want to rely on that. I think what you do is you take, because just touching the yellow rock is good enough, likely.
Yeah.
You put the broom down for a draw. You know, you want to try and draw a side of the button.
Sure. Yeah.
You take a couple inches less, so that you know, if it curls up, you can kind of chip off that top yellow and then and roll in. If you're a little bit heavy, you know, you go past, you've got the backing to work with. You know, there's a lot of options here that allow you to, you know, to finish up as shot stone here and lock down the win.
So a draw here for the win on sheet number 5. And a chance to play in the 2018 Canadians Women's Classic Championship game.
So interesting here, she's actually taking the other turn and drawing across the face here. Again, you know, when you start talking about drawing to backing, this is probably, again, same thing. It's the natural line will take you to the button here. If you're a little bit heavy, it'll run straighter. You can click off the top one and roll in. So now it's in the hands of the sweepers and the line caller in the house, and they are a little heavy here. So you know what? Here you go.
A little tick.
There you go. Played perfectly.
Gets 2. 6-3 final for Anderson, and she will move on to the championship game. Well, we are on skip stones here on sheet number 7, so we'll move back over to this sheet, and we'll finish up the game between Carey and Liu.
So Carey Anderson came into this event with 4 straight World Curling Tour titles, into another final now. The only event that they haven't won so far is the first event they played this year where they missed the playoffs. The Gold Line Icebreaker, which was at the end of August there. But since then, they've been on fire and winning, I believe now 36-6 on the season, win-loss record.
Sweepers working this one for line. Want to get a little piece. They do sit second and I believe third shot rock.
Yeah, a little laugh there from Jiang. You know, I think they were really trying to hit the top one thin. It just did. Or sorry, they were trying to hit the back one, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but ended up pretty fortunate. Now lying first and third, it looks like.
Yeah, as we look.
Second and third.
Yeah, the top-down view shows it a little bit better.
Yeah, second and third. You know, here an opportunity here. They're, Carey's got to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, a nose hit here, stay in the 4-foot, and then China has to follow down. Probably just take her 1. She rolls out of the 4-foot here. I believe there's a double to score 2.
Last rock here for Carey here in the 7th end to play.
Yep.
Looking for the takeout and the one in the back of the 4-foot.
Clean, easy.
She's got it for line. And she's now sitting first and second shot rock. Forces the team from China to either A, draw, or B, hit and stick. Looking at all the angles here, is there a way to get a 2?
没有，那这别着呢，对吧？别着都是，这肯定没有。
加。
Looks like she's going to play the hit. Final rock here on the 7th end to play. Carey against Liu. This one is starting to make its move now. It looks like it's going to be a hit and a stick.
Ooh, a little roll.
Ooh, it looks like it's a steal of 1.
You know, I bet you we see handshakes. The gloves come off here.
That's where it is. So, Team Carey with a steal of 1 in the 7th end takes a 7-2 win and will advance to the 2018 Canadians Women's Classics Final to take on Team Anderson and what will be a great matchup.
Yeah, after the break, we'll set this one up and have a little conversation about the two teams.
All right, we're going to take a quick one. We'll be back in just a few moments.
咱们落后4分也不打了吗？
Eat.
Meat.
Stay.
Perfect.
Canad Inn's destination centers are your home for hospitality, with 10 locations in Manitoba and 1 in North Dakota, featuring the finest in accommodations, food and beverage, entertainment, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more. For the best service and best value, your only stop is Canad Inns. Call today at 1-888-33-CANAD or visit us right now at canadinns.com.
And welcome back to the Portage Curling Club as we wind down the semifinals here, as Team Anderson and Team Carey will move on to the championship final here at 6 o'clock. Jerry, what do you think we're going to see in this matchup?
Yeah, well, we've got the Anderson team who just, they just keep rolling. 36-6 now on the season, 4 titles, now looking for their 5th, and this event here, a major championship opportunity. Team Carey, on the other hand, they're starting to find their stride. Very well played game here against the Chinese side, and this is a very good team, but it's they're kind of mixing and matching a little bit. They've been playing with some spares all year. Their regular lead, Rochelle Brown, is still out, and they've been mixing and matching there. We got Brienne Knapp here, so just trying to get comfortable with the different players and get a feel for each other, and big step forward for the Carey team.
Of course, these teams have seen each other before, so nothing new there. Well, we are going to be wrapping this up here from the Portage Curling Club. Thank you so much for joining us. For Jerry Gertz, myself, Ken Platink, and the rest of us here in the Tavern United broadcast booth, from all of us here, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys back here at 6 o'clock for the championship final of the 2018 Canad Inns Women's Classic.